Yeah, g'day guys, welcome to the channel. When you were a little kid, did you ever want to build a crane? I did. So I did. If you want to see how I did it, stick around. Let's get into it. So firstly to start with, followers of my channel have seen that I've got a crane attachment already for my mini excavator, but it's very limited and it only lifts to a height of about 4 meters, like the boom's a bit over 2 meters high, and the attachment that I've got only gives me an extra 1800 or so, probably because it is only 1800 or so. Now there's not really much weight that I can carry. It's probably 150, maybe 200 kilos at a pinch. But what I've found is on multiple occasions I've found that I run out of reach, not just in height but in distance. You know, like you go further out, like the higher you go the less distance you go, if that makes sense. Now the mini excavator, they're very handy adaptable little pieces of gear, but what I'm finding is that it's not really getting the distance that I've been looking for in some of the projects. Like when I built the carport down here on the container build, I found that when I put the trusses on, the trusses aren't very heavy, like the two-person lift, so they'd be 100 kilos maybe. I found I was at maximum height and it only just sort of got over it with a bit of manhandling to get it on top of the frames. Anyway, there was another one with the little container behind me here that when I put the roof up on top, I was out of not only reach but in height. So I was kind of thinking, you never know, we might need a bit more reach and height. So I was kind of thinking, what if I just extend the little one that I've got, or make it adjustable, you know, like how you do with an engine crane. This is what we call an engine crane. It says it'll lift up to 2 ton. I wouldn't believe that. I'll show you the bits that I've got and we'll get right into it. Here we go. Okay, here's the crane attachment that I currently have. Oh, there's my shadow. So what I've done is just put an eyelet on the bottom, sort of an eyelet, and an eyelet at the top, and I've blanked off this so it would not ever crush, if that makes sense. So it wouldn't ever squish. If I put something on here, it wouldn't try and crush the tube, and I don't think that 4mm wall pipe was ever going to crush anyway with the weight that this digger can lift. I think that bit of plate on the bottom's a huge overkill. It didn't need to be that beefy, so I'm going to lighten a few things up and take this out, but I'm going to have to put a collar around here. Like if you look at a normal crane, it has a collar around each telescopic section so it doesn't bust out this part here. So I'll cut this off, cut that off, cut the piece out of the end, then we'll sort of try and work out a piece of pipe to fit into the end. So I'll get into that, and then I do have another piece of pipe, but she's pretty rough. Yeah, so when I mean I've got a piece of pipe that's rough, you know me, I kind of recycle a lot of stuff, and that means when it's rough, it's rough. Anyway, let's have a bit of a look-see at the piece I've got, and here it is. It's, I don't actually know what it was for. It's, the pipe is the right diameter. It'll fit into the other piece quite well. Actually, it'll have a little bit of slop, so I've got to shim it out a little bit. It's got a plate on each end, and so it must have been bolted down, but then it's got all these collars, like these sort of, I don't know what it is, and it's got these rings in between them which has got a little weld just to keep them apart. So I don't really know what it was. It must have been like a standing upright thing, and these had things on it. I don't really know. I can't sort of fathom them out. So for me to use this piece of pipe, I've got to clean it as always, and there's a few little welds on each little ring I'm imagining in between there. So I'll start cutting that up along with the main one, along with the current one, and try and get it to work. So yeah, let's start getting into that and a bit of fabrication and make ourselves a crane. So there we go, there's one end all cut. It wasn't so hard, just cut the little welds where they were and give it a hit with a hammer and then clean them up with a flappy and move on to the next one. Just do one at a time. Just move them along. Now I've just got to cut the end off and then I can just slide all of them off. And then I'll do the same with this. Just cut all the little welds and then cut the end off because I definitely don't need the end. Or do I? I love recycling steel. Now that I've got this big chunk of pipe all cleaned up, or relatively cleaned up, I just got to cut that end off. I brought the other one in, the actual lifting jib that I've made in the past, and it's pretty basic construction. All it is just a relatively heavy chunk of pipe, not paper thin or anything. And man, it must have been a long time ago because everywhere I look, things aren't square. Like you look at that bit's not square. It's not sitting level. Like if you look along it, it's a little bit, but it's with what I had and the knowledge I had and things like that. So, but what I did was, it was just a couple of big chunks of channel and I've just welded some big washers on and then drilled all the way through with a 30mm drill bit because these pins are 30mm. So, and it's just scrap bits of channel. It was nothing exciting. And I put some, really beefy welds in and on it just to hold it together. And a couple of lugs, and like I explained before, I just put this piece on the bottom, on the end, sorry, to give it some support so we didn't tear out the bottom or anything like that. And the only reason I put the one at the top was just to get me that little bit more height, because I've effectively gained like 150mm, 6 inches from that one. Because that was the initial one and I used it a couple of times. Thought, it'd be nice if I had a bit more height. So I'll lop the end of this off and I'll cut these pieces out and then I'll start working out sort of how that's going to marry inside that one. Like, it's a bit longer than the original, which is good and bad. I don't know if I want to make this removable once it's in there, or it's just going to be permanently sort of in there. I do got to make a collar around here, and I think I'll use a piece of that pipe, because funnily enough, you grab one of these and it's the exact same size. It's identical. It's like as if it was one of those bits of pipe. But anyway, I can use that, cut it a little bit and expand it out and make it fit over the end once these other bits of stuff are off, and give it some support so the end doesn't tear out under extreme load. So all I gotta do is just get into it and sort of put up with my wonkiness. I don't know, what was I thinking? I should have, anyway, it was a long time ago when I made it. Early in my crafting experience. Claw hammer for the win. Should check out how bad the weld was. Well, the weld itself was good, just no penetration. Like there was nothing in the middle. Maybe I just stuck it on there and hope for the best. That's not real good welding, Jim. What was I thinking? Anyway, the other one, it actually was pretty good. Like this is one I did much later, and it's got 100% penetration. There's no gap or anything in the middle. Actually did pretty good. So now that I can clean these up a bit, I'll be able to slot one in the other. I'll just get out the flappy and clean off all these daggy bits off the top here, and work out how I'm going to put a band on it and go from there. Anyway, I'll get into that. Right, so now we've cleaned them all up, both the pieces, and I've jammed that one inside it, and I've got about, I don't know, 600, maybe 400 mil inside the other one, and you can sort of see, yeah, it's on a bit of an angle, and that sort of is mainly because of this big huge gap that's in here. So, which I can hopefully fix by using some of this old off-cut material that people would have thrown away along with the rest of it. I can put some in there on the bottom side, and it'll hopefully level it up a bit. Sort of as a shim or a sleeve, if you want to say. Now, I've gone and put the tape over it just for my own curiosity's sake. And about here is where the end of the excavator attachment sort of finishes, and that's where the lifting lug is. Not that hole, that's just because there's a hole there. That's the one that we put the pin through. Anyway, so this is about where the excavator finishes, and I've measured from here to here, and we had 1600 mil, 1.6 meters. Now I thought it was about 2 meters, but anyway, I guess it's nearly 2 meters overall. But anyway, that piece that's sticking out, it's 1800 long from there out to there, not including the bit that's inside. So from there out to there, it's 1800, 1.8. So that gives us roughly 3400 mil overall. So I've nearly added 2 meters to it, nearly. Which I think is going to be substantial for what it is, because there's been a few times where I've only just needed an extra bit. Story of my life. But I think this will work perfectly. Now, I was sort of thinking how you do the engine lifting frame. There it is over in the back. That red one that has all them holes along it. And the pole comes out. The lifting jib comes out. I was thinking, do I really want to put a series of holes through here? I'm kind of thinking, no, I don't, but I need to secure it so it's not going to go zip when I put some weight on it. So I'll have to work that out. But first of all, I've got to try and sleeve it a little bit and stop it from looking like it's half bent and being on the piss. So I will fiddle with that and see what I can come up with, and then while I'm doing that, I'll try and work out some sort of a locking type thing to stop it from sliding. Now I've gone ahead and made some little tabs. Now they don't look much, they're made out of 5mm and the hole's pretty good. So what I'm sort of thinking, well, if you think about it, this was what was originally on there, and I lifted, well, probably 300 kilos. Anyway, this tab is no real different. Just that it looks smaller. So I've got a few of them. I've got a couple of them I've cut out. And I'm going to put one under the main part and then one at the very end. So when I slide it in, it won't, it won't go inside because it doesn't make it all the way. Actually, I'll show you. Because the inside tube is longer than the outside tube. So I'll just slide it in. So that's full depth. And so we've got all of this room here where I can put one there maybe and one probably there. I don't know why, but anyway. so then I can just use it as a multi-stage sort of lifting thing doobie. Anyway, I'm gonna get into that and try and work out how I'm gonna fix that sleeving issue over there. I'll leave it with me. I just had a brainwave. Why didn't I think of this before? Okay, why don't I just use one of these rings from the leftovers and put it on there, and then that centralizes this pipe. That's pretty good, eh? Yeah, except that when I want to put this pipe all the way in, I need to shim it a little bit. Like, just imagine this is at the other end of this pipe. So I've got to shim it a little bit to, you know, keep this whole thing level. Yeah, because at the moment it's got a bit of a kick down sort of thing going on. It's a bit sort of hanging down there. So if I put this ring on there, I'm never going to get it out, like the whole tube. I'll never be able to slide the whole tube out if I need to lift something heavy with a short piece, if that makes sense. Because this is, I don't know, it's probably 25 kilos, nearly 30 kilos. And that piece is actually lighter, lighter wall material, I guess. But anyway, so what I've come up with is get rid of this ring. Brilliant idea. So what I've done is I've cleaned up one of these short bits, cut the dags off it, and then I've cut it into pieces like that. But the piece that's in there, it's probably about a half moon. It's about probably 50% of the whole circumference. And it fits in there nicely. And the big piece of pipe still slides in and out without any real trouble. And this bit nearly fits in. I've just got to grind a little bit and then weld this to the other end of this, like the bottom end. So then it'll be perfectly straight in theory. And I can still get it out because I've only put the shim on the bottom half, which is where all the weight will be. Does that kind of make sense? I just want to be able to remove this piece if I had to. If I wasn't to ever remove this piece, this would have been brilliant. But I do need to get this out. Well, I want to get this out. It's not a matter of have to, I really want to. I want to be able to use it. I still haven't worked out how I'm going to keep this in the lock position out here yet. Bloody crazy. If I had a lighter piece of pipe, I would use it. But I don't. That's what I got. And it came to me for free. So that's the one I'm going to use. Anyway, I'll tidy this bit up and tack weld it to this piece and slip it inside and see how it all looks. Get some welding stuff happening. And then we're sort of nearly done, maybe. Need a bigger excavator, I think. Oh, look at that, perfect. Well, maybe. Oh, I don't want to have to do that. Okay, it's coming out, a bit more grinding. Bit more grinding. I have a problem, and I'm just wondering if you guys can help me out with it. I have a lighting issue with this camera. Now I used to use my Samsung Galaxy phone, and I didn't seem to have too much trouble with it, but this one I seem to have a lot. Like, as soon as I turn the light on and I'll point it around that way, and now it's not going to do it. Can you see how the light is pulsing in the camera? It's sort of, I don't know, yeah, I don't really know what it is, and it's only these lights, these ones here. and you can sort of see it, they're still pulsing. And it only happens with this camera, and only happens in this part of the shed. Like if I go over here, see it's sort of stopped. Someone said it's something about hertz or something or other, or I don't really know. And it doesn't always happen. Like, I mean, I'm facing a different direction. I was standing over, oh, no, it's doing it again. I'm just wondering if anyone has any idea on what that is and how I can resolve it. Is there an easy fix? Do I need an electrician to sort of do something? Oh, see, there it's going right there again. So if I change angle, or even go outside, it's not really an issue. So I just wonder if someone knows how to fix that pulsing light, whether it's something I can adjust on the camera, or it's something that you can sort of see it just over there. If it's something that I can adjust on the camera, or it's something that I can fix with the lights, or just get different lights. I don't want to do that. But anyway, if someone has any ideas, can you leave me a comment down there? Any electricians amongst you guys, or camera experts, or I'm just really tired with that. It'd be nice to not have that issue when I'm trying to film stuff, because it sort of takes me away from where the location is. I can actually do the job and things like that. Like at the moment, I couldn't work on the Brumby over there because halfway through the video it had just come out all pulsing and look horrible. It'd be horrible footage. But anyway, it's fine right now. I don't know why, it just seems to happen randomly, whether it's a voltage thing or oh, there we go, it's happening again. So whether it's a voltage drop or it's something different, I don't know. If someone can help me out, I'd be really, really appreciated. Anyway, back to the usual video. Okay, well that seems to fit all right, goes all the way in. Now I've got it sitting at the level where I want it to come out at its furthest. Is that the right word? So we've still got a fair bit of stick, if that's the right terminology, yeah? How does that look? That looks pretty straight, eh? Like there's no on that end. I guess the test will be when we stick it out on the excavator. Okay, so that bit's done. I think I still will put a band of some kind around. May not be real wide. Definitely not the same width as that. So I might put a band around there just to give us that bit of strength. If I put a narrow band, even if it's only like, I don't know, 25, 30 mil. And then I can start putting some lugs on, like lifting lugs. And then I've got to try and work out how to stop it from sliding back in. But anyway, that's the next issue. Start making this band. There we go. Now I've just got to put a couple of welds on it and we're all good. Oh, oh, so close. Oh, look at that. There we go. Okay, now we're finally getting somewhere. All the holes line up. And we got a big stick out, which is really good. Got the dirty watt hanging on the bottom. Got the band around the outside. Oh, by the way, that's a 16 mil 8.8 metric bolt. Now I've just got to hang the little duty wad on the end here, and we're nearly done. Anyway, I'll weld that on, see how we go. Okay, I'm trying to put a bit of colour on it, and I've got this whole box over here full of rattle cans, and like they were all given to me from a warehouse that was closing down. They said, oh, we've got to pay for someone to get rid of it. Oh, I stuck my hand up. Anyway, I was going to do both of those in white, but I've got a heap of these, and that's it. You can shake it for like 30 minutes and no go. And I got 4 of them. So I was hoping to do all of it in white, but looks like one's yellow because I got a couple of cans of yellow. Anyway, I will keep trying to paint it. This yellow is really thin, hey. This is like the 3rd coat, and you can still see the etch primer underneath it. And we've got a little run sort of going on here and there. It's like I was always pretty good at cricket. So, but anyway, I got one of them painted white. It looks alright from a distance. Just don't look real close. We should be right to assemble it once it's all dry. Anyway, I'll keep painting this, and it'll probably be tomorrow they'll be dry enough. Well, it says quick dry. Hang on. Quick drying spray enamel. How quick is quick? Couple of days. Yeah, that's not quick. Once it's all painted, I'll come back to you, and then I can do some assembly. So we'll get it on the old digger, and we'll see if it works. See if I can lift something. There we go. It's a bloody long way up. I wasn't gonna add the winch, but I thought, that would be really handy. Yeah, so there's my crane, just a little winch attached to it, and a couple of bits of pipe up there. So I was kind of just having a bit of fun. I don't know if it's very practical. It wouldn't lift a lot, like it lifts this little flex drive motor without any trouble. The winch itself's only 3,000 pound, which is probably a ton and a half, but which is the whole weight of the machine. I wouldn't try lifting it with the winch though. It'd probably struggle a bit. But anyway, will it lift a lot? I wouldn't think so. Maybe 100 kilos at a pinch, and I probably wouldn't want to put the stick out real far. It'd struggle, I reckon. Without the extension in, you could probably lift 100 kilos a bit further out, you know, like at full stretch. Does it look cool? Oh yeah, yeah it does. Do you think the neighbours would be envious? Maybe, if they wanted a crane when they were little, because I know I did. So that's why I built one. Anyway, will I probably ever use it? Maybe, maybe not. Did it cost me anything? Nah, because I already had all the stuff sitting there. All those bits of steel, picked them up for nothing. It was a fun little project. If you want to build one yourself, go right ahead. I didn't tell you how, I just showed you what I did. Hopefully this video has been somewhat informative for you. If it has, you know, click on that like button, that'd be awesome. If you've got value out of this video, it's probably more entertaining than value, but anyway, if you've got a value, just click that button right there somewhere. Take you to buying me a coffee, because coffees are nice, and you know, we like shouting our mates a coffee or a beer or something. I don't drink much beer, so coffee's the thing. Anyway, click on the link and buy me a coffee. That'd be awesome if you could. Or as it gives you an idea on what you could do with your own stuff. Like I could put that jib on something else and use the winch. It doesn't have to be the excavator. I could probably put it on the back of the, I don't know, the old Trilux if I wanted to. That's a thought. Tow truck. Anyway, that's another day, another project. If you haven't already, consider subscribing, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya.